Hi, it's Christina. I'm excited to tell you that your pup is almost complete with their board and train. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the two main tools that we use here in training and that you will be using at home. So this video isn't just for you to use to your advantage when your pup returns home and you continue the training process, but it's also to clear up any confusion or if you have a problem or if something should come up. This is my dog, Honey, and she's going to be my helper today, and she's going to show you, or we're going to show you, how to use the two main collars. The first is the prong collar. Let me show you what that is. And they come in 2 or 3 different sizes. I will send you home with the appropriate size. Good girl, Mama. For your dog, and I'll show you exactly how it has to be used. All right, so the one thing I want to say to you is the prong collar is only going to be used when you go on walks. It's not to be used in the house, not in the crate, and certainly not during playtime with other dogs. So I just want to make something clear. You're not supposed to put the prong collar over your dog's head, because if you do that, then the prong collar is too big, okay? It has to be snug around the crown of the head, just behind the ears, all right? So just keep that in mind. The buckle, that's how we order them, all right? Makes it a lot easier for my clients. If we have to make an adjustment to make it bigger or smaller, the pinch is why they call it a pinch collar, is here. It comes off. We could take one off or add an extra. You only do that one time once we get the right size, and then everything else, for all the other times, you're gonna use the buckle snap. This way you don't warp these prongs, okay? So we're gonna put this around, Honey. Up, good, sit, good, sit, good. So we're gonna bring this around. Let's pretend that we're gonna take her for a walk. We bring it around, come around here, and show the back of it, all right? I want you to see where it goes, right behind here, right behind the ears, all right? Then we're gonna add a Y backup. One side is longer than the other, okay? And with this, oops, we'll turn her, all right? If you have to raise it up, you just grab the dog's skin, and that's it, the dog's coat, no problem. This sits behind the ear, and what we're gonna do is latch one here, the shorter one, okay? And then with the longer one is where the e-collar will be hooked up. And then this circle ring, okay, it gets attached, the leash gets attached there, all right? And in this case, the e-collar would go behind, okay? And then there's a connector here, yep. And then we will be hooking this up this way. So I'll get to that again. I will show you that again. The backup Y, it connects the prong and also connects the e-collar. And the prong there is for maintaining control. Even though you're gonna be using the e-collar, it's always good to have that backup Y just in case something should get loose. Either the prong, rarely it would happen, but it can pop off. Or let's say there was something going on with the e-collar and it broke away, what have you. All right, you'll always have that backup. It's just for safety purposes. So we use the prong collar because it's one of the most gentle collars out there. Even though it looks pretty scary and it looks like it would hurt, it distributes pressure evenly around the neck versus, let's say, a choker. That's why we use it. So here we have the transmitter, and within the transmitter you have a dial here, and that goes up to 100. We have it set for you at 1D. It's 1 that's flashing and the D flashing, and C for constant. That's how we train. There's a locking mechanism up here, which I don't want you to use. It would allow you to hold it and lock it. All right, now it's locked, and you could use it that way, but we prefer that you don't. So you're gonna press it down again, and now it's flashing and it's unlocked. So this will give you the ability to go up and down. Here we have T for tone. We've set this up for you on tone. That's specifically for your recall. That is what you use the recall with, tone only. Then on this side, there's a black button, and it's the stim button, okay? The stim is gonna be the amount of stim that you give here, okay? So we keep all the numbers low. There are times that we have to go up to get the point across, okay? In the case of emergency, you'll have to dial it up. You hold it in your right hand while you're holding your leash in your left, and the thumb is on the tone and the index finger is on the stem. We have this one here, this red button here. It boosts up to 5 without being set, okay? So let's say we're at 5 here, okay? Oops, let's say 5 here, 6 here, 5, let's say. That's your stem, but if you wanted to boost, let's say something, a car came across, a chipmunk, a skunk, and they're not responding to this, it bounces up to 5 more points, all right? Or, you know, elevates itself 5 more units, all right? So let's say if we did 6 or 7, and I boosted it, 5 and 7 is 12. So in the back, you have the M and the C. Like I said, we set it for C. And there is an L here, and this is for the flashlight. Excuse me, there's a light, yeah, there's a flashlight here. If you hold it 3 seconds, you're gonna have flashing lights so you can see your dog at night. If you hold it again, it'll give you a steady flashing, right? Let's try again. Okay, I promise you it's a steady. You only tap it. Oh, I only tap it. Okay, so there's your steady. My assistant told me just tap it. We rarely use it, but it's a nice feature to have. And then if you want to turn it off, we worked on the left side of the L, on the left side of the L button. On the right side of the L button is the turn off. There you go. But you still have each receiver transmitting, excuse me, each receiver receiving signal from the transmitter. If you look at these red little buttons here, here and here, and one on the transmitter. These are magnets, and you will touch them every time you charge the transmitter, and you are charging the receivers. You have to sync them, okay? You have to put these buttons together, these little magnets, line them up, and when you see the green button flash, that receiver is ready to go, okay? If you don't see it flash, then you have to do it again because this is not speaking to this. So let me put that down. Comes with a lanyard. All right, and I like to use it because I like to have my hands free most of the time. And then here's your charger. All right, it only comes with 2, so you know, one's for the receiver and one's for the transmitter. If in this case you have a dog with long hair and we end up going with 2 receivers, just be mindful to charge the other receiver or to charge the transmitter. It's going to come with a belt clip, a whole bunch of tips depending on you know, the length of hair that your dog has. Will be dependent on which ones you use. And here we have, let me open this up. Here we have a way of checking to see if this is actually connecting. Let's see here, it's on 7, so this should light up when we press it. Let's see, we press the tone, excuse me, the stem. Yeah, okay, and there it is. Let's see here. All right, it should light up. And here we have what looks to be like a little wrench, and that is to tighten up the points here, here, okay, here and here. Let's see now. There's this other doohickey here, which we never use. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but I leave it in there. I'm sure it's in the manual. I'm not really too concerned since we don't use it. And that is it. I believe that there's extra. This was extra because we actually purchased the second receiver. And then you have another collar, okay? So you'll have 2 collars, one as a backup, and that's pretty much it for what comes in the box. So I encourage you to review it, but just know that it should be on 1D, which are both flashing, the letter C, which is constant, and when you're working this, your index finger okay? We'll be dialing these up and down when necessary, okay? We work on low stim. I can't stress this enough. I don't want you looking at the numbers. Look at the dog. So when you need to use the e-collar, okay, here is tone. You hear that? So the tone has just gone off, all right? But if you have to use stim, all right, just know that this dial is what you're gonna need to adjust and press your black S here, okay? If it's an emergency and you have to dial it all the way up because of something really coming across your path, or for whatever reason your dog doesn't come back or what have you, you have to adjust it, and it has to be raised very high to get the point across that you have to come back to me. So a couple more things about this collar. Number one, it goes up to a ½ mile. You'll have transmission up to ½ mile, and it is waterproof. Just so you know, you can actually go in the water with this. This will float. And if you're gonna have your dogs in the water with the e-collar, I highly suggest that you raise it up just for recall to get them back. I just wanted to mention that. So once your dog leaves here, I highly recommend that you keep the e-collar on your dog, definitely while supervised, and you definitely want to keep this on the dog for at least 3 months. Now, if you're going to have the actual collar on your dog, all right, and you know you're going to have it on throughout the day, you really should adjust it anywhere between 4 and 6 hours. Just adjust it a little bit to avoid any pressure sores, all right, or what they call necrosis. Just keep rotating it. If you have the double, start here. Never put it on the trachea. Just start here, let's say 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and then just rotate. Most people will only have the one receiver, so you'll have more areas to turn it over on. So a note about the collar, okay? The collar has to be snug. Otherwise, you may have a problem with contact, all right? So if you can just manage to get 2 fingers underneath, that is the right snugness that you need. That's how snug it has to be. Otherwise, it'll spin around and around, and you may not get the contact. And that's the whole purpose, is to make sure that we have contact. All right, so here's the plug-in. And just to show you where you charge this, you're gonna flip this little guy up here, and this goes in, plugged in that way. Obviously, this goes into the wall, into the receptacle. And then let's say that we have just one receiver. Typically speaking, we would. You flip this little guy up. Can you see that? Okay. And then you're going to slide it. So now, like I said, this is in the wall. These are all hooked up. You're going to see this charger with a small glow here on the bottom, okay? And then the receiver, the transmitter has a glow at the bottom. Then the receiver will have this in red. When they both turn green, and this turns green, you are all charged up and ready to disconnect and then turn on, okay? Turn on in the back through with the L. And let me see if that's right. Yeah. Okay, so to turn this on or off, we're going to press the L button in the back. It'll tell you. Oops. Yeah, so that's off now. And now I want to turn it back on and just wait the 3 seconds. And there we go. Let's lower that. Okay. So every time you charge, I can't stress this enough. Don't just put this on the dog and think everything's cool. You have to sync them, have the flashing greens come on like they are now. Okay. And then everything is set. You're good to go. The way to test to make sure that everything is running properly is just press the tone, right? There you go. If the tone is making noise, then everything is charged up and you're ready to go. All right, so that's about it. The whole purpose was to show you the prong collar and how it works, and the e-collar, how it works, and how you're supposed to connect everything. Just remember that you do have the manual here, okay? And if you still need help with it, then just give me a call. I'm at 570-575-8504. I'll be more than happy to help you. And that's about it.